Love Ultra, the modern R&B mix show. I am the DJ. I am the host. I am Ja Prince, and it's 2024. So a lot of people
Yes.
are now outside, literally, and somebody's coming back to Atlanta. Okay, so what's going on in Atlanta with our special guest today, Miss Kalea
Yeah.
Mcneill?
Yes. I am super pumped to be coming back to Atlanta. I don't think I've been to Atlanta since about 2017, 2018. It is homecoming week, Clark Atlanta University. So I'm coming back, of course, for homecoming. It's my 15 years, so I'm super excited about that. Class of 2009, what's up? I'm also going to be doing two shows. One show at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, 7 p.m. this Thursday. And then immediately following that, we're going to be downtown at the Wicked Wolf, which is, if I'm not mistaken, on Peachtree where the old raw sushi used to be. That's how they had to describe it to me. Because see, it's a new Atlanta. I always tell people I lived in pre-BBL Atlanta. Atlanta done got her titties done. She got her ass done. She different now. Like, she a bad bitch, and I get it, and I respect her. Yeah. So that's where we're going to be at about 10:30. Meet us at the Wicked Wolf. It's going to be a fun show, comedy and karaoke, and we'll be having some fun there. Now, both shows are completely different. I'm doing an hour at Norcross at the ATL Comedy Theater. I'm doing a 15-minute set, closing it out though, 15-minute set with my Clark Atlanta folks, but it's going to be fun, different material. That's the fam show. That's the fam. Let your hat off, let your hair down, do all that type of stuff.
That's what it is. We love it right there. Let's speak about being the comedian, because the comedian is a job. It's not really a hobby. How do you see it? Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a content creator.
It's a job now. My taxes will tell you that. It hit me about maybe 2-3 years ago, because I've been doing comedy now for about 12 years, and you do a bunch of little other things to kind of make everything work together. And it wasn't until about maybe 3 years ago, maybe the first year, once we kind of were back outside, when I really started hitting the road a lot more, trying to make up for that lost time of 2020. And I remember doing my taxes in 2022, and I was like, oh, okay, it's time to start adding some people to the team, so we can start writing some things off and doing this and doing that. Yeah. So right now, as far as I'm blessed to say, between stand-up comedy and acting gigs, the bills are paid. There's no other side gig at this point. But within that, within that comedy umbrella, within that acting umbrella, there are so many things that fit underneath that. With stand-up, I got it, like before I was talking to you today, I got up at 7 o'clock this morning. I spent about an hour cutting clips. That way I can make sure I have the right clips to put out, for comedy shorts and things like that, for advertising different shows coming up. I got to put my flyers together. So I'm my own graphic designer as well. Could I hire somebody to do that? Sure. But right now I'm doing it by myself, so there's everything. I am my stylist. Let me go to the mall today so I can figure out what to put on, because I can't just wear anything in Atlanta. I might be able to wear anything when I go to, Minnesota. I can't just put anything on in Atlanta. You got to put that shit on in Atlanta. So I'm going to the mall today. And I mean the nice mall.
The nice mall. Ma'am.
They only give you an hour free parking. That's how you know if it's a good mall or not. How much all the parking free? I don't know what's in that mall.
A little sketchy.
If you give me a time limit, I'm going to do what I need to do in that hour, because I'm not paying you $2.
You got it. Oh, you heard. They told you. They're still breaking in the cars down here, ladies and gentlemen.
I've heard about that. Now, I'm from the Bay Area, where San Francisco, when I tell you, you just leave your doors all the way open. Yeah, so, I mean, I will be renting a car while I'm there, but I ain't renting nothing nice. Nothing. Nah, it's going to be a real nice Corolla.
There you go. No tinted windows, no rims necessary. Just got to go point A to point B. So Thursday's a busy day for you. When you just spoke about creating the content, and it's tedious and it's on your shoulders until the team expands. What have you learned within the last couple of months? Like, a lot of people like these little skits and and I'm talking to myself. Yeah. What has worked for you?
Well, it's like you see what a lot of people like, but then you're also kind of battling between how it's like you obviously you go with the trends, but at the same time you want to be your own person. You don't want to do necessarily the same thing that everybody else is doing, but if something's working, it is working. For instance, if I'm posting comedy clips, I don't want to burn through my jokes. I don't want you to come to my show and be like, I've seen all these jokes on Instagram already. I've seen all these jokes on TikTok. Right. So I have moments in my show where it's very audience heavy. It's very audience interactive sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I'll use those golden nuggets, because those are things that might not be repeated in another show. Crowd work per se, things like that are things that I'll post. Or for instance, if it's a joke maybe from my comedy special or something that I did on Comedy Central, if it's already out there in the universe, then I'll post it. It's no problem. When it comes to other types of content, like being a quote unquote content creator, like doing skits and sketches, I leave that to the skits and the sketches content creators. I have my moments where something funny may happen and I'll be like, oh, let me sketch this up. Right. But as far as me sitting and writing sketches every week and no, y'all got that. I know my lane. That is not my lane. That is not my ministry. Right. But I support y'all. So y'all doing it. But it's just finding what fits you organically. Like the type of person I am. I think if I were to start making sketches, the followers that I have would be like, the same. Okay, Kalea, you trying to do what everybody else is doing. Like even when it comes down to trending sounds, like there are certain things that you need to do just to get your content out, that way, it's going to pick up by the masses so the algorithm can pick it up, but you still have to do that and be uniquely yourself. So what I've learned the past few months, you learn stuff every week. Every week, Instagram is throwing a new feature. TikTok is throwing a new this at us, a new that at us. So it's constantly learning. I'm constantly on my phone, looking to see what other content creators are doing, looking to see what other successful stand-up comedians are doing, and emulating that and or kind of just revamping it to my version of that, if that makes sense.
We love it. We love it.
I don't want you to go to my page and be like, well, this looks like this person's page. No.
Of course. There we go. Yeah. She's our guest right here, Love Ultra Radio. And the job is joke writing. So where do you start that process? Is it the notepad? Is wake up with a glass of water? For you, what is that process of writing a joke?
If I am, honestly, as things happen, because my jokes are mainly about myself and things that I go through. Now, obviously, your family, your friends, and these types of things get pulled into it. But a lot of it is me kind of thinking of what's next. What stages of my life have not hit the stage yet? Because I've been doing stand-up for 12 years, but I've been alive for longer than that.
Right.
And so I think of different things like, when I was after I graduated Clark Atlanta, for instance, I worked for a cruise line for about 2-3 years. I haven't even talked about that shit on stage. So I'll think about things that happened, and it's almost like writing an essay. Like I have a subject, and then let's start bullet pointing it. And then let's start seeing from these bullet points, where can we cut the fat where we don't need the and the ums and the buts and the uhs, and cut the fat, get straight to the point, straight to the joke. And that's all. Those steps of things are all weeded out when I go to like a quick open mic night. Let me work this out real quick. Okay, that worked. This didn't work. Let me cut that off. Let me go to this mic. Okay, now I think the joke is ready. Now I have a show. Let me perform it on a show. One good thing about living in Los Angeles is Los Angeles is considered like a showcase city. So the reason being is there's so many people here that I'm not going to get on stage in LA and do an hour. When I'm in LA, I'm doing 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. But within that, I can break down my hour, right? I'll work on the first 15 minutes for a week. I'll work on the next 15 minutes the following week. But I'm still refining and cutting those jokes as I'm going up on stage and trying to work those things out. So that's one way I write. Another thing that as things happen to me throughout the day, if something really I'm going out today. If something happens, I make a note of it in my phone. And then when I get back home, I'm like, what really happened? Let's break this down. Let's talk about it. And then it goes from there. I'm really good at kind of on the fly writing as well. And I love that about myself. And I think it's just because I have that theater background. So you're kind of trained to, as something happens, you need to react to it immediately. So that's never really been a problem for me. If something happens en route to the show, I'm going to talk about it on stage. We're going to work it out on stage and go from there. So, I'm not necessarily sitting with a cup of coffee, but there are multiple moments throughout the day where I'm sitting and writing, whether it's taking notes or not. Once I get home for the day, now we can compile those notes. Let's see if this is an actual joke or if this is just something funny that happened today and that's just between me and the Lord.
Now we have comedians who have a various topics that they touch, and some stuff I don't touch that. Is there a gray line or is it a hard line sometimes?
There are certain places I'd rather not go, and this is my general rule of thumb for that, especially with cancel culture and everything being as sensitive as it is right now.
Yeah.
If I am not telling the joke with anger or malice in my heart, then I go by the general rule of thumb that it's safe for me to say it. And because most of my jokes are about myself or things that I've been through,
Yeah.
shade no shade. If it pisses you off, how the fuck do you think it made me feel when it actually happened?
Yeah. And that you
Can we
can
do a
laugh
quick
about it.
and that you can laugh. And I mean, it takes a while sometimes to laugh at when we start talking about relationship shit. When I start talking about just coming into who I am as a woman, those things weren't funny at the time, but we can make them funny. I'm never. My goal is to never have you at my show like nervous. Like I can't sit in the front row. I can't sit in the front row. You can sit in the front row at my show because I'm not. I'm not here to talk about you. Now, if you bring something to my attention, we gonna talk. But I never want you to leave feeling picked on or upset. And even if I have banter with somebody in the audience, I will often go back to them afterwards and be like, "We good? We good?" Just to make sure that everything is okay. When we talk about
Mhm.
politics,
Mm.
politics can be a very polarizing thing. People would assume my politics, obviously, because of who I am and whatever, and they're probably assuming right. But politics is probably a subject that I don't really hit on too much when I'm on stage because I just don't want to go there with you. And where I'm at right now in my career, I perform in a lot of small markets.
Mhm.
So it's just best that I don't alienate people. You know, like if I'm in Bakersfield, California, which is exactly how it sounds. I'm not going to talk about politics. Your politics are your politics, honey. We don't need to talk about that. I know what they are. When I'm in Texas, I'm very strategic about what I will and what I will not say. You know, just different things like that.
I like it. I
When
like
you're
it.
still building your audience,
Yeah.
you got to be careful not to pull. Now, you still need to be you. I'm not pandering. I'm not yes
Mm.
massa in you. You know that I'm a black woman and you know what I stand for.
Right.
But there's no need for me to be like Funk Trump in the middle of Tennessee.
Yeah. And
No need.
there you go.
No need.
And some of that performing when you're on stage, like you said, sometimes it is practice, but I'm working it out, and there's audiences that
Right.
understand that. But how much of that acting from actually
Mm-hmm.
being an actress, how much of that is
Yes.
like, nah, I could improv, I could do this crowd work. It's not really hard. It helps me get to the joke that I'm eventually gonna get to.
I'd say 50-50. I mean, my acting, because I like to consider myself a very, I'm a visual comedian. So my facial expressions are part of my jokes. My body movement is part of my jokes. If I'm telling a joke about me and a guy at the grocery store, you're going to know who's talking based on how I'm moving my body, how I've manipulated my voice. So it's all a part of it. Once I hear those claps and I grab that microphone, this is a character now. Like Kalea Mcneill on stage is a character different than Kalea Mcneill in real life. Whatever Kalea on Instagram is a different person than Kalea Mcneill in real life. So you're constantly kind of switching between those different parts of yourselves. And when I'm on stage, it is 100% performance. So whether that's this is what's written, this is what's improv, this is what's written, this is what I'm acting,
Yeah.
it's all together at that point.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, CAU, there's a couple of legends.
Yes.
You about to be a legend
Yes.
coming back. What have you
Yes.
heard, like you said, that's going on the campus that'd be like, yo, I want some of y'all come on out to these events?
I mean, this is my thing. I love my current Clark Atlanta students, my Clark Atlanta Panther babies. I love y'all to death, and I would love to see y'all at the shows. But this is for the grown folk. I hate to say it. I know Clark Atlanta they have a comedy show that they're probably going to do for you guys on the homecoming on campus, and that's great. And if you're over 21, you're more than welcome to come out to the Atlanta Comedy Theater. You're more than welcome to come out to the Wicked Wolf. But those kids got so much going on between concerts and step shows and fashion shows that they're not leaving. When I was on campus, I was not leaving campus during homecoming. I'm not missing a thing. But I will be on campus on Thursday during the day. I'll be there Friday. Nice. I'll definitely be there tailgating on Saturday. So they'll have a chance to see me. I don't want to pull them away from anything that they've already got going. But if they're 21 and up, they're more than welcome.
Come on.
They're more than welcome.
Come on through. Like everyone knows now, it's not just about Comedy Central stand up. It's not just about the laughs. It's about Amazon Prime's videos, ma'am.
Yeah.
So give
Yes.
them, why did they not watch it yet? So tell them about where they could find your stand-up special.
Absolutely. So my comedy special, Smam, is available on Prime Video. I have it across a few platforms. It's available on Prime Video. It's available on Tubi. It is not a Tubi production.
No.
So Tubi
don't
didn't shoot it.
Right.
We shot it. And Tubi is renting it. Okay. But so it is available on Tubi, and I because I wanted everyone to have access to it. It's available as an album, literally wherever you stream music. It was nominated for a Grammy, so that's very exciting. So that's my largest project that's out. As far as things I've put out this year, I have a short set. It's about 17 minutes long that released with Comedy Central. That's available on their YouTube. I have a set that I've released with Don't Tell Comedy, which is a really robust kind of comedy machine right now. Released that's also available on their YouTube. And believe it or not, OnlyFans has gotten into the comedy game. And yes, and I did shoot and release a set with OnlyFans about a month ago, and that is available. And all those links are on my profiles, on my website, KaleaMcneill.com. Everything is there. But that's where you can sit down if you want to sit and just watch some Kalea Funny, Prime, YouTube, and OnlyFans. And no, I'm not telling jokes with my titties out. No. Not today.
I just want everybody to know, it doesn't mean I had a OnlyFans account. I'm familiar with the platform.
With the platform. Oh, okay. You've heard of it once or twice.
Somewhere. Yeah. I downloaded the app once. I never deleted it. Okay.
I mean, since being on OnlyFans, it has been quite interesting. Because they're really trying to, OnlyFans as a company, they're trying to sway what the general thought is about OnlyFans. So they're doing comedy, they're doing like all these different things, but you still, in order to do that, I have to be on OnlyFans. Like I'm on a 6-month contract with them.
That's good.
And so while being on OnlyFans and you start kind of perusing OnlyFans and looking around, you're like, oh, okay, this is different.
That's right.
People are quite forward, I should say, on OnlyFans. The messages that I get, the things that people ask me are, they're quite interesting, Yeah.
That's it. Give them the spelling. And once again, how are we going to support you on Thursday?
Absolutely. Kalea, Kalea Mcneill, Mcneill, 2 L's. People always tell me, they're like, oh, I'm used to it being spelled with 1 L. That's what's up. I'm used to it being spelled with 2. But yeah, so Kalea, Mcneill. You can follow me at whatever Kalea on all platforms. If you are on Facebook, my Facebook page is Kalea Funny. And this Thursday, meet me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, 7:00 on the dot, in your drop top.
Okay.
Cruising the streets. 7:00 ATL Comedy Theater, 10:30 The Wicked Wolf Atlanta for the CAU alumni after affair. And it's going to be a good time. Other than that, I'm going to be perusing Atlanta. Once I leave the stage at the Wicked Wolf, you won't see me sober till I'm back on that Delta jet on Sunday. So just know, if you see me after Thursday and I don't see you, I appreciate you.
That's right.
I just have no idea what's going on. Listen, I'm going to Mary Mac's. I'm going to Martin's. I'm going to doggone Old Lady. I want everything. I want Chick-fil-A in Atlanta because it's in Atlanta. You understand me? I'm going to the Dwarf House. I might even go to the Varsity because I ain't thrown up in a while. I want to go to the Varsity. You know what I mean? I want to go to the Coca-Cola factory. I might go to the Georgia Aquarium. Maybe I want to go for a swim. I want to do some things. So I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be outside in the A. I can't wait. I'm excited.
That's right. Atlanta, you guys got to show up because she's about to show out.